Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. About 9 or 10 months ago, I recorded a Q&A Get Ready With Me, and because that was so long ago and because I've been gone from the channel for so long, I thought I would do an updated one today with you guys while I got ready to go out. So I went onto Instagram and Twitter once again and I asked you guys to leave me questions, and I got heaps, so let's see if I can get through all of them in this video. I'm going to start with brows. I'm going to use the Got To Be Glued brow gel. So the first question is something in your routine that makes a massive difference. So when it comes to my makeup routine, I found recently that using 2 different setting sprays makes a huge difference. I go between my Morphe Luminous setting spray and my Beauty Bakery setting spray. I use the Luminous setting spray in between layers, so I'll use it in between my cream and liquid layers, and then once I've set the face with powder, and then at the end of everything I go over with the Beauty Bakery spray because it has a bit of a stronger hold, whereas the Luminous helps create like a dewy glow. Okay, so now that the brows are up, I'm just going to carve the bottom of them with my concealer, but I'm not going to bring it down too far because on the lid I'm going to apply my P. Louise base just so that the eyeshadow can pop and stay all night long. The next question is, which concert is your favorite? So last time I was here, we talked about concerts. I've been to a lot since then, but by far my favorite was Stray Kids. I saw Stray Kids 3 times this year. The way that they interacted with the audience, like, it felt so personal, and you can tell that they just loved being up there. And obviously it was a very high standard of performance, and the live vocals were amazing. And I think the energy that Stays brought in the audience as well made it a really amazing experience. I feel like the Melbourne shows were a lot crazier than the Sydney shows. I'm not too sure why, but Melbourne was mental. And I'm very excited because tomorrow I have Twice. I've seen like spoilers and stuff on Twitter and TikTok of like their solo stages and of like the set list and stuff. So I'm really excited for that. I will be hopefully vlogging. I know I said that about like Stray Kids and all the other like concerts that I went to like last year and stuff, and I didn't end up vlogging, but like hopefully I will this time. Okay, so for the eyes I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill palette. I swear I use this in every single one of my videos. It's just like the perfect basic to have in your makeup collection. I use it for nights out, I use it for work, I use it every day. Like, it's my go-to. I love it so much, and I very much stay in my comfort zone a lot of the time. So next question is, most memorable moment this year? I know I just spoke about it, but honestly I would have to say Stray Kids. It was a long time coming. I didn't get to see them in their tour in Melbourne. I think it was in 2019. I missed out on tickets, unfortunately. It was my first time seeing them, and I have been a stay since 2017, so it was like a big thing for me. Stray Kids have been like a big part of my life, so finally getting to see them live was such a surreal experience. And I got to take my little sister. We've bonded over Stray Kids over the last year or so, and I'm the one that got her into K-pop, so for her birthday and Christmas I bought her a ticket, and it was honestly so much fun getting to take her. It was her first ever concert, and I feel like it's an experience that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives, so that was really fun as well. Yes.
Yes.
Hey. Oh, while Tori's here, I'll get into one of the other questions that actually involves Tori.
What is it?
Hello? Good, Ness is here because Ness asked the question. So question from Ness was 5-year-old Tori or 5 Tories? Oh, both sound horrible.
Yeah.
But I also think Tori would have been a very quiet child, no?
I asked my mum so many questions every day that for Christmas she bought me a book that said like 100 or a big number answers to 1 billion questions. So,
Okay.
Because I wanted to know everything.
Is there a third option?
Death?
I take that.
Just don't know.
No Tories.
You could do that. The other one?
Right now. 5-year-old Tory or 5 Tories?
5 of me. You know what? It wouldn't be that bad because we'd all 5 of me would just work all the time.
True.
Yeah,
Would you
answer.
enjoy being around 5 of you?
Oh no. This isn't my question. This isn't for me to answer.
I know. I'm good with kids. I'm gonna say 5-year-old Tory. I'm older sister energy. I know how to deal with it.
True. And I wouldn't cause any trouble anyway. I was too scared to get in trouble.
That's why I said I feel like you would be reserved.
I would be reserved, but
If
you'd
I was
have
scary
to
enough.
entertain me. So 5-year-old me?
Sure.
Cool.
Cool. Bye.
She has
Have you got food?
extracurricular activities. I have potato salad.
I haven't eaten today.
Yeah.
Would you mind bringing it to me? I'm a little bit preoccupied.
Okay, 5-year-old.
Thank you very much. Next question is, what is your idea of the perfect day?
Say something.
Okay, thank you very much. That's okay. I love you. I love you, King Julian.
Oh, shut up, you're so nice.
So, I would like to just say being by myself in bed with a book or a game. If I were to like go out and do something, this is either like by myself or with a friend. Either like going to like cafes, going to the museum or big market and just like buying flowers and little trinkets and stuff like that. Just things where you can just like relax while still doing something, because those are all kind of laid back activities and that's my kind of thing. Next question is a talent you wish you had. I've always wanted to be able to sing, mainly because I would love to be in a musical. I remember in high school I was in theatre and we did Sweeney Todd for our musical one year, and we only did like a shortened version of it because it was part of like a big variety show, but I played Joanna and all I wanted was to play Mrs. Lovett or something like that, because what I would give to be able to sing Worst Pies in London. Good. My best friend in high school, she played Mrs. Lovett and oh my god, she killed it. She was so amazing. Because we did a shortened version, there was no part in which my character actually had to sing. Thank God, because I would have made everyone's ears bleed. I look like a crazy person and it's not symmetrical. Okay, next question is, who is your fashion inspiration? Lately, I've been really inspired by Jennie from Blackpink, especially since the Met Gala. The Met Gala as a whole has inspired me with my sense of style, just with the whole Chanel, that very classic black and white look. I think my fashion inspiration would probably be Han Ji-sung from Stray Kids. The whole big pants, big top vibe, baggy everything, big puffer jackets, stuff like that. Next question is, current favorite song? I, for like months, have been obsessed with Out of Touch. Became obsessed with it while I was watching Chainsaw Man and everyone was making those edits between Aki and Angel. Ever since I became obsessed with it from that, I haven't been able to let go of the song. I think that is way too much. I absolutely despise how this makeup is going. It's actually horrible. Somewhere I haven't traveled that I want to go. There are a lot of places, mainly because I haven't even left Australia, and even within Australia I've been to like Sydney and the Gold Coast, and that is it. I'm gonna jump in with my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I bought this recently for a video that will be coming out soon, so make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified when I do post that. I've always dreamed of doing like a big Asia trip. I would love to go to Korea and I would also really love to go to Japan, so I plan on doing those two together. But I would love to go to India, I would love to go to Singapore, and I'd love to go to Thailand. Unfortunately though, I do not have that kind of money. Other than that, I would really love to go to LA. Ever since I was a teenager, I dreamed of moving to LA. I had this like idea in my head that I was gonna become like a famous YouTuber and move to LA. And when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with MagCon, and I was so convinced that I was gonna be best friends with everyone from MagCon. Mind you, at this point I was 14 years old, so and I would really love to go to Amsterdam. My family on my mum's side is all from Amsterdam, and I've been surrounded by like the culture and photos of Amsterdam and all that stuff like from my grandparents. So it would be really amazing to actually visit all these places that they've told me about my entire life. I'm going to go over with my Morphe 2 skin tint. At the moment, this is the only foundation I own that actually matches my skin tone, because I've gone down like 2 shades of foundation in the past year purely because all I ever do is work and stay home. I'm never in the sun, and I do have a vitamin D deficiency. Next question is, where do you want to be this time next year? I honestly freak out when I start to think about me next year. I'm gonna be 24 next year, and to say I don't really have any plans would just be the start of it. Don't have any big career goals. I do hope that I, by next year, have worked on my artistry in terms of doing other people's makeup. Thankfully, working at Morphe, I've been able to expand my experience with doing makeup on other people, but I know that I have a long way to go. And it sounds silly, but I really do hope that I continue making videos and I actually build up this channel to something that I want it to be. Whether I have more subscribers or not, I do generally just want to actually make this a consistent hobby, just because I do enjoy creating content so much. I just never find the time to do so. Next, I'm going in with my Morphe Filter Effect Concealer, and my favorite part of my job at Morphe. So since my last Q&A, I have gotten a promotion at work. My last Q&A, I touched on what I used to do at my job, and I used to be the support assistant. So I was mainly in charge of helping out with stock, making sure everything was replaned on the shop floor, doing deliveries, stuff like that. But since then, I have become a key holder. So I am out on the shop floor now, and I do work a lot closer with customers. In the beginning, that was a pretty scary concept because I felt like my makeup skills weren't really up to standard to be helping customers with their makeup. But I've learned a lot since then, and my team has been really amazing in supporting me and helping me learn. At work, we do these little services for people who are looking to buy a product but don't really know how to use it, or would like some tips, or would like to see a look that could be created with the product. And one of my favorite things about my job is when I do these services for people, and you can tell that just how genuinely happy they are that I was able to help. Last week I had a mum and a daughter come in, and the mum had just a collection of makeup that was years old, so she wanted to completely revamp her collection, and she wasn't too sure if she was doing her makeup correctly, or basically just wanted more tips and tricks on how she can improve. So I sat her down and I grabbed a palette that I thought would work for her, and I did her makeup, and at the end she started like almost tearing up, and she like looked at me and was genuinely like, "Thank you so much for making me feel pretty." When she said that, I died inside. I was like, I nearly started crying because I was like, oh my god. You could tell it just made her day, and her daughter were going out for lunch afterwards. So she got to have her makeup done for lunch, and she was honestly the sweetest lady I've ever spoken to. So whenever stuff like that happens, honestly, it makes me so proud of my job, and it makes me actually happy to be there. Okay, as I was saying earlier, in between my layers, I set with my luminous setting spray. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. I've done my foundation and my concealer, and I'm just going to pat over all of that with my damp beauty sponge. For contour, I'm going in with my Mecca Max contour stick. Okay, the next question is, do you eat the most or least tasty part of your plate first? I'm a bit of a freak, and I pick what would be my favorite on the plate, and I even it out throughout my mouthfuls. So I'll make it my first bite, and then I'll make sure I leave some, go into the other stuff, have a bit in the middle, and then a bit at the end, so that I'm experiencing my favorite part throughout the entire meal. Now I'm just going in with my cream blush from Morphe, and then I'm going to set all of that with my luminous setting spray again. Now to set the base, I'm going to use my Nabla pressed powder. My next question is, if there was an apocalypse, what is your plan of action? I have actually spent so much of my time thinking about this because it gives me so much anxiety. The thought of like a zombie apocalypse is the scariest thing I've ever thought of, although I am convinced I would survive. My parents own a block of land out in Whoop Whoop, and it's kind of on a bit of a hill. So my first plan of action would be heading over there. There's a really little country town on the way there with not a huge population, so it would be super easy to raid the supermarket there. I feel like everyone there would just share it around. Plus, with the small population in the area, less zombies. And then being on the hill, it's easy to look out. We already have everything set up there, and the entire area of the block of land is built for survival without electronics and running water and stuff like that. Okay, so now that the face is set with powder, I'm going to go in with my last spray of the luminous setting spray, and that is not moving for the rest of the night. Coming into my powder products, I'm going to use my Jaclyn Hill bronzer. The next question is, what is your biggest fear that could actually logically happen? A lot of people might disagree with me, but I wholeheartedly believe that the zombie apocalypse is entirely plausible. I love zombie media. I love zombie shows, zombie movies, zombie games, but I'm absolutely terrified of them. I can't even play zombie games. I have to watch people play zombie games because I get way too scared, and it is one of my biggest fears. And now going in with my very old blush that I am still using. I think though, if I had to pick a zombie apocalypse to be in, I don't really know, but it would not be The Last of Us. The way that the zombies evolve to outsmart humans is absolutely terrifying. And while The Walking Dead, the zombies are easier to outrun and outlive, it still like sucks because everyone is infected anyway. So if society does rebuild, they'd have to like come up with like an entirely new way of life to prevent people who have died turning into zombies. Now that all my powder products have been applied, I'm now going to use my Beauty Bakery setting spray to fix everything in place for the rest of the night. Oh, it's spraying weird. Look at this. Did you see that? Why is it spraying like that? That's gonna drench my face if I use that. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. For some reason this is spraying out like really weird. Instead of like an aerosol spray, it's like shooting out. No, I'm not doing that. Okay. Instead, I'm just gonna go in with my luminous setting spray. I used to use this all the time before I got the Beauty Bakery spray anyway, so I know it's going to work. For the lips, I'm gonna use my Rem Beauty lip liner in Top Line. And I'm just gonna use my Morphe Frosé gloss over the top. And the last question for tonight is first 5 songs on your Spotify repeat. First song is Meltdown by Niall Horan. Niall's music is by far my favorite out of all the boys' solo stuff. I love all their stuff, but Niall is by far my favorite. And it's not just because I was a Niall girl growing up. I genuinely love his music so much. Second is Slow by Jackson Wayne and Sierra. Third is I Am by IVE. Fourth is Gotta Be You by One Direction. I have been revisiting my One Direction obsession recently, and all of their old stuff still hits just like when I was like 14 years old. And last is Knock by Lee Chaeyeon. So yeah, that is the last of the questions. I'm gonna go do my hair, get dressed, and I will be back with you guys in a moment. And this is the final look. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end and getting ready with me today. I'm super excited for all the little projects that I have planned for this channel, so I hope you stick around. Be sure to leave a like below and subscribe, it would help me out a lot. And I will be seeing you